Howdy! In today's episode I'm going to show you how I adjust the grind size for Moka Pot 3 cup size. And this is Bialetti Moka Express. It says, made by Bialetti since 1933, Italian quality and design, but it is made in Romania and it's a great thing. Let me show you why. So in my opinion, the quality of production is way better. Like, I have only old brica, and let's check what's inside. First of all, the lid stays open, it's great thing. Inside, yeah, it's nice. The lid closes nicely and opens nicely, stays open. But here, see that it's not perfect. It's like, it's great, but not perfect. You can't cut yourself, but you can see these lines. So the form in which it was made is not super nice. And it says D5 inside. Yeah, you can't cut yourself, but it could be better. But for sure, it's still very nice quality. Here we have just another level. First of all, lid, perfect. Of course, a little bit of rubble, but it stays open like clicks. Here we have cleaner spout, at least I think it is cleaner. So there is like less defects. And this part is nice, it's polished. The paint is very great, and the handle. Like, but let's see what's inside. Made in Italy. It says made in Romania on the package. So anyway, here, nice. As usual, for coffee. And here is what I like. Like, it is shiny and it says F1 inside, and the quality is just way better, way smoother. The lines aren't that deep here, and here there is no lines, or like minor ones, way smoother. But let's talk about coffee. So in today's video we're going to concentrate on two main parameters: balance and intensity. As for the balance, we can regulate it by the total brewing time, so the amount of time that it takes from the appear of the flow till the end of the brewing, when the bubble appears. And we know that for Moka Pot it is best to have brewing time 40 seconds plus. This means there will be enough time to have a balanced cup of coffee. And parameters which also affect is the grind size. It also affects the balance and somewhat ratio, but to the lesser degree. And the amount of coffee used, because if you use too much coffee and too small grind size, you will have more pressure, and more pressure means more higher temperature, so it can be up to 115 degrees Celsius. We don't want that, and as you know, the flow starts from 85 degrees Celsius, because the lower layer of water starts to go up because of the pressure of steam built up here, and here water will be colder, here it will be hotter. That's physics. So that's one way to achieve unbalanced cup of coffee, is to use bigger dose and small grind size. That way you will have more pressure, higher temperature, and probably unbalanced flavor. But the main parameter is the brewing time. It shouldn't be fast. And second parameter, which is very important, is intensity. How we can adjust it? By adjusting the ratio in the first place. So how much water we use, and coffee dose is pretty much fixed. And also you can adjust the intensity using different grind size. So smaller grind size will be more intense cup of coffee. I've already tried 2 cups of coffee today, but I had fixed grind size, so I have had the ground coffee. And what I found, that the small amount of water doesn't work well here. It's like too intense to perceive the flavors properly. So it feels unbalanced because of high intensity. And what I mean by small amount of water, I've used 16.5 grams of coffee and 100 grams of water here. And I've got 60 grams of coffee out. But what worked better is 16.3 grams of coffee and 130 grams of water, which is exactly on this line. There is narrowing, and you can see that you can feel just under this line. And it will be 130 grams of water, which is perfect. Super, super useful, because you can use it without scales. So I've got 93 grams of coffee out, which is 1 to 5.7 ratio. And if you've watched my 1 cup version, I've used 1.53 ratio here, and it worked great. So now I'm targeting, first of all, I'm gonna use 130 grams of water and 16.3 grams of coffee, but this is different coffee, so different density. You can see there is a lot of space here, but it is nice because we don't need more coffee. Coffee will expand when it contacts with water, and because we have enough brewing time, like long enough, we have expansion and then flow. So first of all, we're filtering more coffee particles, and we have stable coffee pack which will not move, only water goes through and makes the thing. As for the grind size, I'm gonna start from 2.5 on Kinu M47 and we'll adjust by the flavor. Hopefully it will work from the first time. As for the coffee, this is natural processed Ethiopian Sidamo, which is relatively basic, but that's what I have now. So the coffee is medium roast, natural processed Ethiopia, and here is a life hack. Easier, way easier to add the coffee that way. So shake it a little bit, and you can use even a spoon to distribute it. The grind size is coarse. Today I had way smaller, so possibly we could use the same grind size as for the 1 cup for this approach. As for the brewing, let's start from fry mode. We will heat it up for like 40 seconds and then we'll decrease the temperature. And I'm using induction adapter because I have regular mocha. $130 should work fine. And then we start counting when the coffee appears. So we're targeting like 45 seconds of the flow, and we will let the water to completely go through the coffee. Yeah, we have nice flow, nice slow flow. It could be faster. The coffee is too fresh, it's like 1 week after roasting or so. Yeah, the flow is nice, perfect. We have time. The brewing time will be around 1 minute with such a flow. Looks great. So 130, perfect for these doughs. Yeah, perfect. 43 seconds and we have our coffee. So a little bit from the spout as well. 95 grams of coffee. And it's time to try it. It's a little bit watery, a little bit more watery than I expected it to be, and the body is not that thick. There are caramel notes, but it's under extracted a little bit. It's not sour, because, you know, this coffee cannot be sour, it's natural processed. It's refreshing. So the cup, it's drinkable 100%. Can it be better? Yes, it can be, because we can decrease the grind size, use the same dose, and it will be a little bit thicker bodied, have more flavor, because now it's a little bit like, it's balanced, but flavor is not that intense. Definitely easy to drink. You can decrease the grind size and let's make it to make the perfect cup. probably, hopefully. So I'm gonna target more rounded flavor. It will be like fat milk, something like this. So it will not be just some fluid. There will be more chewiness to it. And that's what we will do with just decreasing the grind size by 3 numbers. So we're gonna use the grind size that we've used for... Oh no, you know, I'm gonna use the grind size which is even smaller than I've used for 1 cup. That way I will have even thicker cup of coffee, because the grind size is way too big now. And yeah, the great indicator of the flavor is aftertaste. If we don't have enough aftertaste or it is weird, it's probably not the best grind size. It's too coarse, too big. And that's what I have here. I have an aftertaste which tastes like almonds, which is not the best flavor for coffee aftertaste. It simply means that we can go way smaller. So as for the balance, it is balanced, but as for the intensity, we just play with the grind size. So the ratio is perfect, you can use it for sure. But as for the intensity, you need to adjust for every coffee. You know what, let's go 1.8, it will be way smaller. I just want to see what are boundaries for drinkable cup. There is no like coffee aftertaste, which you should get, because there we have peach in chocolate, dark plum, pomelo, and tea oolong. Oh yeah, the grind size is super small now. There are distributors on the market for 3 cup size, but I don't have it now. A little bit of tapping and you see that there is some space left for coffee because of the grind size. Coffee will expand and it will not be an issue. So if you have similar stove, 130 degrees is a nice starting point as for the temperature in a fire mode. And now we should have more crema as well, because the grind size is smaller. A little bit slow down, 100 degrees, because the flow is fast. I will switch it off because we have inertia. So there is enough of energy to finish the brewing, as you can see. More foam. 46 seconds. Yeah, perfect. And it looks like mocha now. More flavorful, because before that, flavor like falling apart somewhere. Like some part of flavor, then empty, some part of flavor. Here it's more homogeneous. But it's still not thick enough. Like it can be even smaller, but as you can see, with this ratio it's hard to go wrong. The grind size can be pretty big, and by the way, I now perceive great aftertaste, like almost perfect. Some nuts here as well. We perceived nuts in Lunga. We tested this coffee. So yeah, this is the cup of coffee that I would prefer over the previous one in the morning, because it gives me energy, it gives me like all the flavors that I need. And can we go smaller? Yes, we can, but it's not necessary. It's almost perfect. It has clean aftertaste, which is more important, because if we go too small, it could be too intense and the aftertaste could be a little bit burnt because of the hard temperature. Here it is pretty well balanced and pretty well balanced in terms of intensity. The flavors are here, cup is great. So Hope you learned something that you can just use 130 grams of water, 16.3 grams of coffee, and use the grind size which fits your flavor preference and the coffee itself. That's it for today. See ya.